day in and day out because I have had the opportunity and the pleasure of working with her since the past 5 years. And let me tell you, I have not seen her take a single day holiday ever. And she's always thinking about how can we heal the world? How can we heal people? And how can we help animals? And there's so much that actually we had the opportunity to listen to her and learn from her. And I'm glad that today she's here to speak to all of you. She's the founder of Sharan. Sharan is an organization. We are a I'm just going to share the acronym with you. Um, Sanctuary for Health and Reconnection to Animals and Nature. And she started this social enterprise, not for profit organization, um, 15 years ago. And she's also the author of the bestseller Reversing Diabetes in 21 Days. Plus, she's received the Nari Shakti Puraskar by our honorable president for the work that she's been doing, because thousands and thousands of people have been healed simply by a change of diet. They've been able to reverse their diseases. So I don't want to take much more time. I'm sure you all are eager to listen to her. So over to you, Dr. Nandita.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And I do want to say that I have two guests here with me. They're not really guests. Sharanya is a facilitator from our team. And Shalu, you already saw her maybe in the recipe section this afternoon. Shalu is a consultant with us. And I'm going to ask Sharanya to start speaking right in the beginning, because Sharanya is going to share her story of how she handled an autoimmune disease. Sharanya, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Nandita, and the entire team for giving me this opportunity to share my story. I'm Sharanya, an IT professional from Chennai. When my daughter was just 1 year old, I lost vision on my left eye overnight. I thought it was something to do with delivery and pregnancy and the breastfeeding and the sleepless nights for a year. So I didn't take it very seriously. But after a week, when I was not able to cross the road with my daughter in the pram, I got really scared and I went to an ophthalmologist. My ophthalmologist did a lot of tests and she found there was no problem with my eye, but there was a problem with the nerve connecting the eye to the brain. So she put me on to a neurologist. I went to the neurologist, and after a series of diagnoses and tests, he said, I have an autoimmune disorder called multiple sclerosis. I didn't know what an autoimmune disorder was, and the term multiple sclerosis sounded very complicated. When my doctor explained what an autoimmune disorder was, it I started to cry and I just burst into tears. I didn't know what was happening, and especially with a 1 year old daughter, I didn't know how the future is going to be. He asked me to get admitted in the hospital immediately. And after a week of IV steroids, I got my eyesight back, luckily. And after that, I was put on oral steroids. The oral steroids took a toll on my body and my mind. I used to feel very hungry throughout the day. I was putting on a lot of weight. I was losing my temper. I used to shout at people. I used to shout at people, at my aunts who used to take care of me, my sisters, my family. They had a very tough time with me during the steroids time. And after the oral steroids, my doctor put me on an immunosuppressant. The tiny little tablet, which was about 14 mg, costed us about 35,000 every month. And it was not available off the shelf in a medical store. It had to be imported from the US every month, and there were a lot of procedures every time. And the immunosuppressants were going on, and the immunosuppressant took a long time to settle down in my body. My husband and I, we do not believe in English medicines for the long run. For an emergency, yes, I got my eyesight back, but for the long run, and especially when the neurologist said I will have to take this medicine for about 8 to 9 years of my life, we didn't know what was happening and we were looking for alternatives. And my neurologist also didn't give me any guarantee that this medicine will cure me. He said this medicine will keep the problem at bay, but it will not cure you. And there was another very tough restriction that I had, which was I should not be exposed to heat. So that means I cannot live in a hot place like Chennai. I cannot cook in the kitchen. I cannot play with my daughter. I cannot take her to the park or to the beach. I cannot live a normal life. I should be living like a vegetable in the fridge. So I could not see light at the end of my tunnel. When we were looking for alternatives, we found Dr. Nandita, luckily, from Sharon. I was not even in the position to travel. And when she said she could do a phone consultation, I immediately jumped into the opportunity and I took a 1 hour phone consultation with her. That 1 hour of phone consultation changed my life for good, which I didn't know then. With no hope, absolutely no hope, I just followed whatever doctor said. I just trusted her completely and followed everything she said to the T. This lifestyle seemed overwhelming initially, but I had a lot of family support, especially my husband and my mother-in-law handheld me and took me through this entire process. And in 3 months, I settled into this lifestyle, took one day at a time and one meal at a time. And slowly, I was getting there. And in 3 months, I saw some results. My MS symptoms were going down. I was able to sleep better. I stopped all the other 10 medications except the immunosuppressant. I was able to be more energetic. Something was happening. Okay, I was like, okay, something right is happening. So I started to follow this even more religiously, and only that immunosuppressant was going on. I was really scared to stop that because whenever I thought of stopping it, my neurologist's words would ring in my mind. He would say, if you stop this, you might end up losing your eyesight again and you might end up in a wheelchair all your life. So this was in the back of my mind, and this new lifestyle, which was giving me a lot of results, were also going on parallelly. And in about four more months, I got complete trust on this lifestyle, and I told doctor I'm ready to stop the medicine. She was very happy to listen to these words from me, and she said, okay, let's do it. She tapered down the medicines slowly, and she gave me 2 months. It took 2 months for us to stop the medicines slowly because I had a lot of withdrawal symptoms. She handheld me through the entire process, and whenever I was scared, I used to call her and she would reassure that everything's going to settle down in a couple of days. So luckily everything went on very well, and it's been 2.5 years since I stopped my medicines, and I'm fine. I wouldn't say that MS has completely gone. I have my symptoms here and there, but the most important thing is I am not scared anymore. I know my body is taking time to cure itself, and I have lost about 22 kilos in this entire process. I feel I've reversed my age. I look younger. I feel more energetic. I'm able to do a lot of yoga. I'm able to do high intensity exercises. And she has opened up a lot of doors for me. What started for health reasons has now become ethical. And all the choices that I make, from the food I eat to the clothes I wear, have completely changed. Doctor, I really thank multiple sclerosis for giving me this new life. And I have all my gratitude for doctor for getting me into this new life. And I'm full of energy and I'm really happy now. I hope my story inspired all of you. And I wish all the people listening to me all the very best to get into this lifestyle. And I would like to end my talk with a small slide of mine. So this was me in 2016, and this is me now. Thank you very much, doctor, for giving me this opportunity. And I'm a facilitator with her right now, and I've joined her to spread awareness about this lifestyle. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you very much for sharing. I know that there are lots of people here who either have autoimmune disease or know somebody who has an autoimmune disease. And I know that your story is very inspiring to them. So Sharanya shared with you how totally devastating autoimmune disease could be. One day she was totally fine and suddenly she lost her eyesight and other functions. And now I can say that she's 90% fine and actually even healthier than she was before she got the autoimmune disease in terms of energy and everything. I do agree that she's 100% free of the autoimmune disease, but it hardly makes a difference because she doesn't experience it much. And today we're going to talk about what are autoimmune diseases. And I do want to share that I too suffered from an autoimmune disease. 1997, I suffered from Guillain-Barré. And Guillain-Barré is a disease that affects the nerves. Luckily, it doesn't affect the nerve. Actually, it affects the myelin sheath of the nerve. And the myelin sheath gets damaged, and therefore the nerve cannot function anymore. And the nerves are responsible for all our movements. And so it causes an ascending paralysis. And I noticed it because I found that I couldn't even squeeze a lemon. I wasn't walking properly anymore. And it was really terrifying to have been leading a totally normal life, very active life, had a full practice. And now suddenly I was having difficulty in walking or even squeezing a lemon. And this progressed rapidly. And before it progressed and when I was having difficulty in walking, I went to Jaslok Hospital and saw a neurologist who confirmed the diagnosis that I myself thought it was Guillain-Barré. And he suggested that I should get hospitalized right away because the paralysis in the nerves can also reach the respiratory system or the heart. And so ventilator support can also be required. And I knew the kind of treatment that went into Guillain-Barré. They were giving immunosuppressive drugs, they were giving steroids, just like Sharanya spoke about, as well as immunoglobulins. And I knew that these could potentially cause more harm. And so I didn't stay in the hospital. I went back home. I actually ended up in my father's house because I couldn't look after myself. I couldn't walk anymore. After a little bit of crawling, I couldn't even crawl. And I was totally bedridden. And a time came within 3 weeks, just 3 weeks, I couldn't even turn in bed. And I had two helpers in the house helping me, one at night and one during the day, just to help me, feed me, turn me in bed, help me with all bodily functions. And I really thank my father and those helpers for helping me through a time where I couldn't even take care of people. Before we go more into autoimmune, let's understand what is immunity. Our body has an immune system that's like soldiers that fight off any invading organism. They fight off viruses, germs, and even parasites, and they're always in action. We don't even feel it. Because right now, in the air around us or in the water, there are germs all the time, but we have an immune system that manages to fight it off no matter what. Today we're talking more about immunity than ever before because of COVID-19. And we know very well that someone has COVID-19, they need not get symptoms at all if they're really immune. And tomorrow, Vinita is going to be sharing the story of a 8-year-old son who got COVID-19 and went into isolation all by himself, but luckily didn't manifest any of the symptoms because he had a strong immune system. Vinita is also a facilitator with our team. But other people do get symptoms and they do out it if they have a strong immune system. But if they have a weak immune system, either due to immunosuppressants or due to maybe transfusion or a transplant for which they are taking immunosuppressants, or even due to lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, or cancer, then we have heard of cases succumbing to COVID-19. So it's important that we build our immune system, and we are going to talk a little bit more about this today. But now we want to talk about what are autoimmune diseases. Our immune system protects us. So I just want to explain some terms. An antigen is something that stimulates an antibody production. For example, if we have bacteria or virus in our body, they are antigens that stimulate an antibody production. And generally any foreign protein is an antigen. Now, we have some common autoimmune diseases. These are some of the names: rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, lupus, vitiligo, ankylosing spondylitis, type 1 diabetes, psoriasis, irritable bowel syndrome, which could be Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, Graves' disease, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, myasthenia gravis, vasculitis. But there are more than 100 types of autoimmune diseases. And these can affect any organ of the body. Now, what it means is that we have produced antibodies against our own organs. And that happens. Our immune system is supposed to work for us and not against us. So how do we produce antibodies our own self? And I want to explain this a little bit. Just imagine that you have a stomach, and in the stomach there's acid and there are enzymes to digest the protein that comes in the stomach. And imagine if you eat meat. How does the stomach know that it's supposed to digest the meat but not digest itself? It knows because we have markers that mark something that is not self very clearly and mark our own body as self. And we produce antibodies against what is not our self. But imagine if that protein in our stomach resembles some protein in our body. And this actually occurs in the case of type 1 diabetes, where researchers have found that milk protein is similar to the pancreatic protein. And so when a child is given cow's milk instead of mother's milk at an early age, the child produces antibodies against the cow's milk, and this can affect the pancreas and destroy the pancreas. And so we are producing our own autoimmune diseases by bringing in foreign proteins. That means proteins that nature never expected to be in contact with our body. Now, what are these foreign proteins? We'll talk about in just a moment. Now, Sharanya shared that the current treatment of autoimmune diseases treats the symptoms. She was taking steroids, she was taking immunosuppressive drugs, and the doctor told her that he doesn't promise a cure, but he says that it will keep the symptoms in abeyance. Now, Sharon's system is totally different. We think about what is the problem and what are the causes of the problem. So now let's go back to autoimmune diseases and think about what are the causes of autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune disease means that we are producing antibodies against our own cells. And this happens naturally in a transplant. For example, if someone has a kidney transplant, we know that they have to take an immunosuppressive drug their entire lives to prevent their body from rejecting that kidney, because that kidney is not a part of the body. Even when we have a blood transfusion, doctors have to be very careful to choose a blood that is of the same type as our own blood so that our body will not reject it. And luckily, blood cells have a very short lifespan. So after some time, we replace that transfused blood with our own blood. We also have an immune response to a vaccination. For example, if you take a measles vaccine, then that measles vaccine is injected straight into your bloodstream, but actually the measles virus enters the respiratory system. So the body is a little shocked because it has antibodies straight in the bloodstream, and we produce antigens straight in the bloodstream, and we produce antibodies against measles, and these antibodies so that whenever the measles virus actually comes in contact with us, we already have the soldiers to protect us. Thing about vaccinations, like for example, if you take a cholera vaccine, the antibodies are going to last in your body a year. Cholera vaccine has a lifespan of only a year. But if you take a tetanus vaccine, the antibodies are going to stay in our system for 10 years because tetanus antibodies last for 10 years. Now, I do want to say that sometimes we go to a doctor with an injury and doctor advises a vaccination for tetanus without even asking us when did we last have the tetanus vaccination, which could have been a long time ago. So we have to understand that antibodies do have a lifespan. We also have to understand that vaccinations are potentially life-threatening. For example, nowadays, so many vaccinations are given soon after birth, and so many people suffer from the result of vaccinations, which can be attention deficit disorder and other disabilities that, nowadays we have so many schools for people with disabilities, and many of these are a result of our over enthusiastic vaccination. So for example, even if we had vaccine to COVID-19, I would definitely hesitate to take that vaccination. I do also want to say that one of the reasons that I believe that I suffered from Guillain-Barré is because of rabies vaccination. I mean, being a doctor, I never took any vaccinations, but one day I was walking to my clinic and a dog suddenly bit me totally unprovoked. And I know how potentially dangerous rabies is. And so I decided to take one rabies vaccination. Knowing how potentially dangerous vaccines are, I went back and saw that the dog was still fine and decided not to take the whole course of rabies vaccination. But one of the known causes of Guillain-Barré is vaccination. And I did get Guillain-Barré symptoms after 3 months of that vaccination. Now, many people don't correlate their autoimmune disease to a vaccination because we believe that vaccines are good for us and they could never do any harm. And that's why I invite you, all of you, to check on the internet about the bad effects of vaccination. Vaccinations are actually life-threatening. People write about the system of getting COVID vaccines and what it could do if we all need to have vaccinations. I really do consider this as something important to think about. Immune responses are also due to a virus. And if you look, I don't have time to explain all of this, but I do want to say that autoimmune diseases can be a result of a virus infection as well. And multiple sclerosis can be a result of viral infections. But unfortunately, we can't do anything about this. But we can avoid vaccinations. Also, an immune response can be due to certain medications. This too can be researched on the internet, where it talks about which autoimmune diseases result from which medications as well. Now, we should, all of us, before we take any vaccination, go into the internet and see what are the side effects of that vaccine. Before taking any medication, we should go into the internet or read up about what are the side effects of that medication. For example, Sharanya did speak about the side effects of the medications that she took for her autoimmune disease, and they were a lot beyond the hole in her pocket, right? Now, our body also responds to animal products in our diet, as I explained before, and animal products in our diet can stimulate an autoimmune response, just like dairy could produce an autoimmune response to the pancreas and end up with type 1 diabetes. And finally, and yeah, so I do want to go ahead and say why what we eat is so important. We have to understand that our body is not designed for an omnivorous diet that we believe we are. If you look at the teeth of a carnivore and you look at the teeth of a herbivore, and now you look at the teeth of true omnivores, and now if you look at our own teeth, you can see that we don't have the canines to pounce on an animal, tear it apart, and eat it raw. And if we do eat animal products, they are potentially foreign proteins in our body. They are proteins that our body never was designed to handle. And so we can produce antibodies to them. And we are so lucky that we have so many reserves. And so even though we're doing wrong things all the time, we succumb, but sometimes one day we do. And therefore, we should always make sure that we put into our body only those things that our body was designed to have: fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, and perhaps, not really, but perhaps some grains. Now, I do want to answer some important questions that I've learned about autoimmune diseases over the years, because when I got my autoimmune disease, I did not know all the things that I'm telling you right now. Autoimmune diseases take a long time to heal. And that's because, just like if you have a fracture, it takes time for the bones to heal, even though they are put close to each other. Similarly, it takes time for those cells which have been destroyed to regenerate. And so autoimmune diseases take years. But it also takes years because we have the circulating in our system, and these antibodies have a lifespan, and we don't have a lifespan. But all the antibodies are at different stages of age. Some are, 2 days old, some are 2 months old, some are 2 years old. And so they are going to die when their lifespan is over. And so every day we are losing some of those antibodies. And the more antibodies we lose, the closer we are to cure. But if in that time we re-expose ourselves to the antigen, say we just take 1 cup of tea, we will produce new antibodies and we will again prolong the time for the disease to heal. So even though the recovery may not be complete, because some tissues have been destroyed completely, even if we prevent further further increase of the disease, we have done a good job. And then we recover, we have done a fantastic job, because in general, people with autoimmune diseases only get worse over a period. Now, as I said, just one cheat meal on animal products, just one cup of tea with milk in it can slow down the recovery, because new antibodies are formed and they need time to die. It's best to avoid animal ingredients, even in personal care products, because they can be absorbed through the skin sometimes. Vaccinations also are to be totally avoided. I do want to mention that talks like these can never replace a personal consultation, because this work, especially reducing medications, needs to be done closely monitored and individualized. And I do want to say that medicines, unfortunately, can never cure an autoimmune disease. But your body can. Your body all works to heal. So, you've heard this before, and I do want to mention it again. Sharan has a 5-point plan. The first is completely plant-based, and this is the most important one in autoimmune diseases. Even if you cheat on the second one, whole foods, like sometimes you have some white rice or some oil, no problem. You will still recover from an autoimmune disease. But plant-based is very, very important. And organic is also quite important, because we don't know the chemicals, fertilizers, and even the hormones that are used to make plants grow. And therefore, we always want to go for organic. Vitamin B12 is very important for everyone, but vitamin D is particularly important for autoimmune diseases. So everyone with an autoimmune disease should check their vitamin D, and it's always better to have a slightly higher vitamin D in most autoimmune diseases. I do want to mention that it's very easy to take consultations from Sharan doctors. You just go to our website, click on book a consultation, and you will be led into how to book a consultation. I want to thank you for listening. Now I want to invite the next speaker, which is Shalu. Shalu is a consultant with Sharan, and Shalu, just like Sharanya and myself, has had personal experience with autoimmune disease.
So as you can see, I'll just quickly explain what is ankylosing spondylitis. As you can see in the images, the first image is of a normal spine. The second image that you're seeing is that of an early stage of ankylosing spondylitis, where you can see that in the spine near the vertebrae, there is a lot of inflammation that is coming up. And in the third image, you can see an advanced stage of ankylosing spondylitis, whereby the joints of the vertebrae of the spine have started to fuse. So we all know that our spine is very flexible, and that is why we get to do a range of motions. But when your spine fuses, just imagine if your spine fuses, what kind of motions will you be able to do? Like, you will be completely restricted. It is also called bamboo spine, where you have a stiff spine and you can't move it at all. So this is a disease where your joints start to fuse. It can affect any joint in the body, but it basically affects the spine. And it is also a type of progressive arthritis. It causes elevated inflammation throughout the body, and very sadly, it affects mostly men who are in between the age of 18 to 30. When they are at their prime, they're working on their studies, their career, so it just attacks them at the time. That is the time when it onsets. So my husband had some symptoms, which I'll just explain. He had pain in back and neck. He had stiffness in the spine, constant fatigue throughout the day. He would be very tired. He had some bowel dysfunctions also. But I also know of people who have ankylosing spondylitis and they have some other symptoms like breathing impairment, bladder issues, sleep apnea, uveitis, psoriasis, and then a lot of problems with the heart, whereby the heart muscles stop functioning properly and there is reduced blood flow and inflammation also in the heart. So this is a disease which can completely break you. When I tried to find what are the causes of ankylosing spondylitis, I could not find a definitive cause. Some doctors would say that it is genetic. Some would say that it is caused by a kind of bacteria, but nobody could actually tell me that what is it exactly that has caused this disease. And when I went for diagnosis, there is no particular test that you can do and you can get an answer that yes, you have an AS or you don't have an AS. The doctors will do all kinds of tests. They'll do some x-rays and they'll try to combine them and try to figure out if your joints have actually fused or not. And if your joints have actually not fused to an extent that it can be seen on the x-ray, then there is no definitive way to find out if you have AS. There is some doctors will say that if you have the gene HLA-B27, you are more prone to having ankylosing spondylitis. But there are so many people around the world who have this gene HLA-B27 and have no symptoms at all of AS, and they are doing perfectly fine. So no definitive diagnosis that you can get done for this particular disease. Now, when it comes to cure, again, there is no definitive cure for this disease. You will not be given any specific medicine. No doctor can say that you take this pill, you take this injection, and AS will go. So it is a disease for which you can't find out the cause, you can't get a diagnosis done, and you can't find a cure. So it's a really tough one. The only option you're left with is to go with the standard treatment options. So this is basically an algorithm for Crohn's disease, and this applies to most of the autoimmune disorders. So you'll be put on lifelong medications by the doctor, starting with non-steroid, and when they stop working, they'll give you muscle relaxants, analgesics. Then all this doesn't work, then you're given corticosteroids and then disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs. And lastly, the medication to be the most effective medicine for ankylosing spondylitis is a biosimilar biological agent, infliximab, which is said to be the most effective one. And if that also doesn't help you, then you go to the last resort, which is a surgery. So if your hips are not functioning properly, if the hip joint is affected, then you go for a hip replacement surgery. And if your spine is affected, they split open your spine and they put a steel rod inside it, and then it supports you stand and do your bodily functions. But all these surgeries are life-threatening. They are very high-risk surgeries, and you definitely don't want to go that route. So what we did was we went through all these medications, and then we were taking infliximab, almost one dose every 2 months. It costed us around 1.5 to 2 lakhs to get one dose of infliximab, including the hospitalizations and everything. And the doctor told us that this is such a dangerous medicine that it might cause heart failure. And at one time, he also told us that if my husband gets a serious infection like a tuberculosis, then he will not be able to save my husband because the immunity was so compromised because of this drug. So this is a really dangerous drug. And also the effect lasts only for around a month or so, and then the pain and stiffness starts coming back. We were really desperate looking for other options because it was taking a toll on us both physically and financially. And we went for all kinds of therapies and homeopathy and Ayurvedic treatments and physiotherapy, all kinds of pain management. Nothing worked for us. And then I read some information on the internet that a plant-based diet might help him. So I started reading more and more about it. I also attended Dr. Nandita's seminars, and she explained wonderfully why it is so important that we remove meat and dairy from our lives. And I was so desperate to get my husband out of that situation that I made the shift immediately. And we made a lot of lifestyle changes. We left eating meat products and we stopped eating outside food. No online orders, no takeaways. We said no to all dairy products. We moved to completely organic produce, including groceries, everything like fruits and vegetables, everything was organic in our house. And then we added more and more fruits and vegetables in our food. And also we made sure that we were having a lot of different colors of foods, because as we all know, different colors have different nutrients. So I started including all the fruits and vegetables that we used to never have before. And then we used to never have millets. I started including it. I started replacing the wheat with more millets and millet flours, and it really helped a lot. And once we made these changes, all the anti-inflammatory and pain management medicines that my husband was taking were gone within a matter of 3 months. It was magical. We were completely off all the doctor visits and hospitalizations. The diabetes was gone. The hypertension was gone. He was losing so much weight. He had so much energy throughout the day. It was mind blowing. He was completely pain free, leading a healthy, happy life. And it was such a beautiful phase in our lives when I was getting my husband back, my kids were getting their father back, and my husband was getting his life back. So it was just amazing. And when I saw that such amazing positive changes happening in his life, I decided that I am going to educate myself more on this, and I'm going to help more and more people who are suffering from such crippling diseases, and I'm going to help them reverse their diseases. So I started studying plant-based nutrition. I studied holistic nutrition, and now I'm practicing as a nutritional consultant with Sharan, and I'm really happy about it. So I have helped people with ankylosing spondylitis, eczema, psoriasis, and even thyroid help in reversing their diseases. And this lifestyle has really worked out for them. So specifically for ankylosing spondylitis, I have a couple of recommendations. Please stick to the Sharan principles. Please eat whole, organic, and plant-based food, no animal products, no dairy. And please add physiotherapy or yoga or any kind of light exercise. Even if you're not able to do like 15 or 30 minutes, just start with 5 minutes or something. Stay active, because AS is a disease which is completely dependent on what kind of a lifestyle you're living. If you're sedentary, then this is going to advance at a very fast rate. And if you are keeping yourself active, if you're doing a range of activities every day, then the advancement process slows down. So it's really important that you stay active. Walking and swimming are two things which really helped my husband. So I highly recommend doing this. And the most important thing is, of course, to follow all of the above consistently, because we all know diseases like ankylosing spondylitis are very difficult to get rid of. And it's really important that we are consistent in our efforts so that we can throw them out of our lives. So as you can see, I was able to convert an ankylosing spondylitis story of my husband into an ankylosing spondylitis reversal story. And I'm really happy about it. As you can see, my husband's ankylosing spondylitis is almost non-existent, although he has some kind of stiffness around his neck, but the pain is completely gone. So it is as good as not having any AS at all for us. His HbA1c has come down to 5.8 from 12. And his hypertension is gone. He has lost 32 kilos of weight, and he does not wear his glasses anymore. His vision problems are gone. He's not taking any more painkillers. And for a man who needed assistance in standing up, sitting down, and even walking, now he has changed to a man who is walking 14 kilometers per day. So this is the best thing that could have ever happened in our lives. And I'm so thankful to Sharan, to Dr. Nandita, and to this lifestyle for making all this possible for me. And lastly, I'll just end by saying that diseases, autoimmune diseases like ankylosing spondylitis are very tough to get rid of, but there is always hope. Please don't lose hope. Please take your first steps towards a better, healthy lifestyle, and I'm sure you'll be able to get rid of all your diseases. Also, Sharan is there. You can consult with the nutritionists or doctors. We are all here to help you through this journey. And please, I really encourage you, communicate this to your loved ones who are suffering with such kind of diseases so that they can get better. Thank you so much for listening to me.
I really want to thank Sharanya for sharing their story.